The worst kind of coworkers are those ones who play nice. Oh, they're sweet to you, right to your face. But behind the scenes, they don't really like you. Oh, and they bash you and they talk about you. Oh, those are the worst kind of coworkers. And a lot of times, those are often your managers, your team leads, your supervisors. You have to be mindful of those coworkers, right? You think everything's sweet, but behind closed doors, they don't like you. Behind closed doors, they're bashing you. Behind closed doors, they're throwing rocks and hiding their hands. When they say coworkers are not your friends, get your money and go home, it is not a drill. It is not a drill. Even if those managers and those supervisors tell you, hey, if you have any questions, please be sure to ask questions. You know you can come to me. They'll say that, right? And then as soon as you go ask them questions and they help you and you walk off, they're bashing you to the next supervisor or coworker. Oh, they ask too many questions and they just don't know nothing. They just... Also, for example, they'll say, you know, you can come to me about anything. You know, you can come talk to me if something's going on with you. Never do that. Never do that. I made that mistake one time. So I was telling her about an issue I was having with a coworker, right? And this was a manager. I was revealing to her an issue I was having with a coworker, thinking that I can confide in her. This is a manager, right? It's going to stay in the office, even though that's what she said to me. You know, it's going to stay in the office. Why? She went back and told the coworker what I said about her. Everything. Let me tell you something. I don't care what position they have. Don't trust them. The worst kind of manager, coworker, and person in general is the ones that smile in your face, but they really don't like you. That's a snake. That is a snake. Don't trust them. Get your money and go home. Get your money and go home.
I say that all the time. You're not at work because you want to be at work. You're at work because situations like bills mandate and necessitate you being at work. So no one's actually there by choice. That being said, the relationship can only be one of convenience. It's one of circumstance. The people at work that you are friends with, you're only friends with them because y'all all hate the same people. You know what I'm talking. Your work friend, y'all sit and talk about the boss. You talk about it. That's what your work friend is. That's not an authentic relationship. Everybody know you get too close to the coworker. Next thing you know, you come in on Monday and half the place know your business. It's not fun.
Here's why you shouldn't become friends with your coworkers. I had a friend who worked with a team of 4 other people, and the 4 other people got laid off. So my friend texted like the group chat and was like, hey, how are you guys doing? Like, here's some jobs, let me know if you need anything. Now, over the course of this month, they're like complaining about the bosses they didn't like, or just complaining about the organization and how they did things, and like the way that this layoff went down. My friend is participating in the conversation because like she's also annoyed by how everything went down. Specifically, they all had this one boss who like they just had a hard time with. My friend said that the boss was like nice seemingly, but like could be difficult to follow sometimes and seemed to lose her train of thought very often, and it was just very confusing to work for this woman. So one day, a month after the layoffs, that same boss starts acting like really weird. So then my friend got called into a meeting with HR and that person's boss. So naturally she's like, oh my God, like it's a second round of layoffs. I'm gonna be next. Like I'm going home. So she gets into this meeting and it's like at like 7:30 a.m. or like a ridiculously early time. She gets into the meeting and then HR is like, hey, we got wind of a text message that you were on, and granted it was on your personal phone, but we got wind of this text message that you were on, and we want to know if you can explain what you were saying in these text messages. So HR begins to like read line by line everything that my friend had been saying in these messages and asks her to explain each and everything. So like, remember my friend's boss, who everybody had trouble with, could be like forgetful sometimes. So my friend said that she would often call her Dory in these text messages because she was so forgetful. So HR is like, so you called X, Y, and Z Dory. What did you mean by that? So of course my friend's wondering like, okay, who gave you guys these text messages? Because at this point it's one of the people. Just be careful out here. Don't trust people. Nothing's safe. Not even your personal phone.
According to the Business Insider, betrayal trauma comes in many forms, including professional or workplace betrayal trauma. In the corporate world, trust and collaboration are crucial for healthy work environments. Professional betrayal or workplace betrayal occurs when there's a breach of trust and loyalty within those working contexts. It occurs when coworkers, supervisors, or team members engage in actions that undermine your trust, deceive you, or exploit your confidential information. Workplace betrayal manifests in many forms, which can be traumatizing. 1. Misappropriation of credit or theft of credit. This happens when someone takes credit for your work without acknowledging your contribution. 2. Backstabbing and gossiping. This happens when supervisors and other coworkers spread rumors or engage in conversations, harmful conversations about others behind their backs. 3 is breach of confidentiality. This happens when coworkers or managers share the sensitive information of another coworker without their consent. In my humble opinion, that's the shittiest type of betrayal there is. 4 is breaking promises and agreements. Failing to uphold the commitment will damage the trust and the relationship. And 5 is manipulation and deceit. This happens when a manager or a coworker engage in deceptive behavior and manipulate situations for personal gain at the other person's expense. Oftentimes, it's difficult to recognize these situations when they're happening to you. So those are the 5 forms of workplace betrayal. And in my next video, I'm going to tell you how to recognize the signs.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? How are you doing, fam? I'll be doing okay. Now, I just wanted to do something a little bit different. Just want to give you a break from the normal discussions that you usually have, and something that probably majority of us can relate with. We've been in a working environment with different people, with different positions, and at some point we have fallen victim. People backstabbing us for some things that probably we didn't do, or maybe we did, but it's something that could have been solved before even reaching the manager, right? So this is something that happens at the workplace, and people have shared their stories. And then there is always this say, I don't know if it's same with where you come from. There's this say that people always say that, do your job, go back home. Don't start making yourself look good. Don't start simping to the manager. Don't start looking good. Do your part and go back home. If a person has a problem at the workspace, ask them, leave them, go back home. The issue of just trying to tell the manager that, he didn't know this part. I'm the one who showed him. He didn't know. He didn't serve the clients well. I'm the one who actually brought them back. Today, I actually made the ice sell more than everyone. Today, I'm the one who did the ice. Just do your job and go back home. Because when the day of being fired will come, the good job that you did, those people will forget. The community that you will create with the workers, having a strong connection, working with each other, not against each other, so that you can look better than other people. That's the most important thing. And these are one of the hardest lessons that people learn in working places. I don't know your experience about being backstabbed in working places. I don't know if somebody have ever reported you for something that you didn't do, or even if you did, it's something that maybe could have been solved, something which is so micro, right? These things happen in working places, because people in the working places, we have people with different personalities. People come and they just wanna, people with different personalities, right? So these people are different, and you can't make everyone happy. You actually need to know that. You can be working so hard, but you can't make everyone happy. At some point, there are those people that they will never be satisfied with what you're doing. These are people who are sharing their experiences, being backstabbed at the job working place. And I know you're surprised why I'm talking about this topic. Just wanted to try something different so that we can engage, away from our normal talks of racism and black excellence, which is also important, but sometimes you need to take a little break and also discuss some things that happen in our lives. Buckle up. These are presenter Jindox stories. Go listen to the presentation. Go listen to what these people have to say, because it's really, really important, and it's also a life learning lesson that most of us need to have, because sometimes we do things because you're not being told. I know you're so hardworking and you want to report everything, how you did everything to while you making other people look bad. That's not right, right? People have reported being backstabbed, and don't be a victim or don't be the person who causes this. So let's watch the videos. I'll be back with my commentary.
Hey man, your co-workers is not your friends. Excuse me, your co-workers is not your friends. I gotta repeat that. And the reason I'm saying it, because every time I talk to somebody, with a 9 to 5 or whatever the case may be, I always gotta constantly remind them, like, yo, them people, y'all not cool. So keep your business. Don't let them into your stuff, because they'll F you over if they get the chance. So I'm gonna give y'all a story on how one of my co-workers who I thought I was cool with tried to get me kicked out the military. Now listen, this some wild shit. All right, so look, this was early in my military career, so I was naive to a lot of stuff. So I had to, go through it to learn and understand and stuff like that. So right into the story, right? So I had a coworker, right? She would always like bake me cookies and shit. Like, and mind you, she older. At this time, I'm like 20, 21 years old, and she had to be about like 50 years. She was like early to mid 50s. So she always like baking me cookies and bringing me shit, always talking to me, getting me to open up, because I was real reserved. I kept to myself. So she used to be inviting me to her family barbecues, like all kinds of shit. So after like months of doing this, I'm thinking like, okay, we building rapport, we getting close. I feel like I can trust her. So one day, I got tasked to do something, but I completely forgot about it. Like, it wasn't even intentional that I didn't do it. I just forgot about it. So it was like a weekend. So on that Monday when I came into work, she's sitting on her computer typing and whatnot. And she asked me about the thing that I forgot to do about it. And as soon as she asked me, I was like, oh shit, damn, I forgot. And she just like laughed and giggled. And she was like, it's no big deal, whatever, right? So after she says that, she stops typing on her computer and she's like, oh, I'll be right back. So she gets up and she walks out the room. Me, I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm like, okay, whatever. So about 10 minutes later, she come back in the room, sit down, get to working, typing again, everything normal. About 10 more minutes pass, my supervisor's supervisor, he comes in, and he at E7 at this time. So if anybody familiar with the military, they know what that is. And at this time, I was only like an E3. So he at E7, he walk in the room and he like, Miller, I need to talk to you in my office. So I go in his office, he going off, like he's spazzing. He like, why the F you ain't do what I told you to do? And so told me this, or that. And I'm saying it a lot more calmer, like he was turned up. And I'm like, whole time in my mind, I'm thinking, I know this, I'll be trying not to curse these days. But I'm like, I know this, and didn't tell this dude what the hell I just told her. And he's spazzing. He like, yo, I'm about to write you up. You about to get an Article 15. And anybody know that's familiar with the military, they know how serious like Article 15s is and whatnot. So he eventually kicked me out of his office. Y'all, tell me why I go back into my office. I'm mad as hell. I'm ready to snap on this lady. I walk back into I can't even tell the story because it's so funny now, but in the moment, this shit wasn't funny at all, y'all. I'm like, real shit. So tell me why, y'all, get back to my office, get back to my desk. This lady put some baked cookies in a Ziploc bag on my desk with a note with a smiley face on it. She put that shit on my desk. So I look at the cookies and I look at her and she's typing and she stopped typing. She look at me and smile and say, is everything okay? Man, hey, bro, y'all don't understand, bro. Hey, bro, I was ready to get up and slap the shit out this lady. And I don't even condone physical violence, none of that, but this shit was so mind-blowing to me. But, in wrapping it all up, I say that to say, when you go to work, you handle your business. You don't get too mixy telling everybody your business, because this is only, keep in mind, this is only one story. I got a lot of stories like this, not only with things that I went through, but with other people that I know that went through some wild shit. So my point is, when y'all go to work, man, y'all separate y'all personal lives from y'all work lives. Y'all handle work, y'all play stupid, do whatever y'all need to do, go home, and come back to work. That's it. Don't get too close to these people. Don't get mixy, because if they ever get the opportunity and they gonna get it eventually. They will throw your ass under the bus. So stay wise.
3 ways to tell if those are your friends from work or just your coworkers who are trying to take advantage of you. The only time you hang out is at work, and if you hang out outside of work, 90% of what you're talking about is work. They take a really keen interest on your thoughts about everybody in the office, almost like they're trying to get things and use it against you. They're really nice to everybody to their face, and then when you two are one-on-one, they tell you what they actually think about Susan from accounting. And if she's doing that to Susan, I guarantee she's doing it to you.
I always wonder why your coworkers want to know so much about your life outside of work. Like, I don't get it. Like, at my job now, like, I have no friends. I only have coworkers. That's it. That's all you are to me. You are my coworker. I only see you at work. I only talk to you at work. I only talk to you about work. Like, anything outside of work, I'm not gonna tell you. So I go on vacation. Like, I was on vacation from Friday to Tuesday, and I went back to work yesterday. I put in my days. It got approved. I never told anybody where I was going, what I was doing, nothing. I just, whoever I needed to tell, I'm gonna be out from this day to this day, and that's it. Like, I didn't say anything else because I don't feel like I need to tell you anything else. Only thing I had to talk to you about is work. So I get back and everybody's like, oh, hey, Shazi is back. Like, where did you go on vacation? I'm like, I didn't go anywhere. Oh, you took those days off and you didn't go anywhere? Like, did you do anything special? I'm like, nope. Nope, I didn't do anything. Like, and then they keep prying, and I'm just like, one word answers. No, I didn't do anything. Nope. Like, get the hint. If I'm not telling you what I did, if I don't even tell you what I do for the weekend, then why would I tell you what I do on vacation? Granted, I didn't do a damn thing, which I deserved. I didn't do anything. I just chilled. I slept. I read. I watched TV. Like, I didn't do anything. But they didn't need to know that. You guys don't need to know what I do outside of work. Like, why don't your coworkers understand that? Yes, there are times where you become friends with your coworkers, and I have done that in the past, and that's great. But I don't have any friends right now at this job, and I am okay with that. Stop prying and trying to pry into people's lives outside of work if they do not want to voluntarily give you the information. We're here to work. That's it.
A colleague does not equal friend, okay? And that's because you all only have one thing really in common, and it's the place of work you're at. You all work together, right? Which means that when it comes to a promotion, you all are rushing to get it at the same time. So what's to say your colleague won't put a roadblock or a barrier there to get there first? Stop telling these people your business. They are not your friends. They are your colleagues.
I had to learn very early in my work life that you can never be friends with people you work with. So one day I was just going up to the front to get my returns because I'm a stalker, and I was getting them. In the middle of that, there was a new employee that I saw. She was some sort of 5'2", 5 foot light skin or whatever, and then she was a new employee. She only been there for like 2 days. And right off rip, I could tell that she's the type that just go ahead and make work friends because she was trying to talk to everybody, including me. And when she was talking to me, look, I'm a laid back dude, so I was like, yo, what's good? You know, how'd your few days working here? And that right there, that's where I messed up. Right off ripping the conversation, she was a little giggly, but I didn't really see that much of a big deal of it, so I just went back to my department and started stalking. Why my homeboy that I work with, he works at front end with her, came to me at lunch talking about some, bro, I think that new girl likes you. I was like, nah, man, she don't even know me like that, and plus, I'm not trying to date nobody from work. Fast forward to like my last 15 minutes, I saw her again, but this time she started acting a little too friendly. I went in the break room and I saw her right there, and she was like, come sit over here, come sit over here. So I sat across from her. We started chatting it up, blah, blah, blah. And then she had asked me, what time do you get off? I said I get off at 11:30 and I got stuff to do after I leave. Why? Why the hell she had said, meet me when you get off work? Then she gave me her Instagram and told me to text her when I'm finna get ready to leave. And bro, I'll tell you this right now. When it was time for me to go, I dipped. She got mad at me the next day, but I didn't care because, bro, I just wanted to get my check and leave. I don't got time for the nonsense.
For those of you that were like, coworkers are not your friends, be careful.
Listen, babe, nobody was trying to befriend all 30 Susans in accounting, okay? But what I am saying is that when your soul just clicks with that one person that becomes your work bestie, work wife, work husband, I don't care, your miserable 8 to 5 does not seem so miserable anymore. And if they end up backstabbing you, babe, it builds character. Throw it on your resume. It's work experience, life experience. Hell, in your next interview, when they ask you, have you ever dealt with a difficult situation in the workplace? You'd be like, yes, actually, as a matter of fact, a backstabbing twat. Fact of the matter is, corporate America does not give a shit about you. So you might as well have a little bit of fun on the clock. You might as well share a hot pocket with somebody that feeds your soul and a couple fraps. I don't know, but life is way too short to be taken so seriously, especially in the workplace.
But I've learned, yeah, that there's certain people, the office culture, there's no boundaries. Maybe it's because I'm a private person, but for example, yeah, there was someone in the office, they were like, hey, what are you getting up to? Got any plans? And the other person was like, yeah, you know, getting a new place, buying a house. What's your response to that? Because I would say, oh yeah, that's great, congrats, how's it going? That's it. Tell me why this person said, got any pictures? I don't know about you, yeah. I started typing, I stopped typing, I was like, oh, are we asking for pictures of people's houses? I thought that was kind of personal. And then the thing that was a bit nerve-wracking to see was she was kind of nervous, innit? Because she's there scrolling through like, oh yeah, you know, it went from pride and joy, getting a new place, to her feeling like, oh yeah, I'm going to talk it down now. You know, it's not that great and there's a lot to do and it's more like a project home, if anything. And I'm just like, oh God.
That backstabbing coworker. Here's what I did to mine. I went into work and everybody was congregated and talking, and as soon as I got closer, yeah, the talking stopped. Could you be more obvious? So he looks at me and says, you're doing your time card all wrong. You're a lateral coworker, you're not a lead, and you have no payroll duties, so what do you even know about my time card? Sounds like you've been gossiping, and based on what you heard, you think you're going to correct me in front of the manager as well as other coworkers. The way I dealt with him is I ignored him, and because the manager was standing there, I looked her straight in the eye and said, is there something that you would like to tell me about my time card? He was a persistent backstabber, so I had to take it up a notch.
And I'm also really good at playing dumb. At a toxic job that I used to work at, one of my friends became an op. And it wasn't that she said anything weird, it was just that like the vibe was off and I could tell. So whenever we would talk, I would become the biggest dunce that you ever did see. Like I would say things that were wrong and stupid. And they would still try to pin stuff on me and blame things on me. And these attempts never actually did anything. But one thing about karma, she gonna come back around. And it's really, truly ironic. Because ever since I gained a TikTok following, guess who's trying to tag me and stuff? And wants me to repost their content. But since I'm just so dumb, I don't see it. I don't know what you're talking about. So if you're the person at your job that likes to lay low and mind your business as you should, and they start to send ops, don't even sweat it, because karma's gonna come back around.
Stop adding your coworkers on social media. They are not your friends. Do you want them to see the real you, like you turning up till 4 a.m, and then you're gonna call off the next day? They're gonna snitch you out. Do not burn yourself out like that.
Learn from my mistakes. Do not trust coworkers at all. I don't care how sweet they are, how cool they are, nothing. Don't trust them. Because once a coworker understands that your job is not everything, that work isn't your whole identity, suddenly you become a target and they're your enemy. And I don't know why, but they hate that. Especially ones that can't imagine that you're more than what you do, that you have a full life, you're multifaceted. Every single time I had a job where people figured out that this isn't my everything, this is my whole life, I started getting reported, whether it was in healthcare or otherwise. Don't tell coworkers anything to do with your job. Don't trust them either. Some coworkers like invite each other to weddings, they go to, I don't know how that happens. Don't trust them. Not at all.
One of the biggest mistakes that you can make in the workplace is to assume that all of your work colleagues are your friends. The reason you even know your work colleagues is because you've all been brought together by circumstance, and that circumstance is work. Majority of the time, work relationships are superficial at best. The primary reason we go to work is to get a paycheck. If you were to remove work out of the equation, you'd probably have no reason to speak to your work colleagues ever again. These are 3 things that I'd personally not do around my work colleagues, because if you do, it can land you in a whole load of problems. Number 1, oversharing. When it comes to your love life, health, political views, religious views, and finances, I would highly recommend you don't discuss these things, most especially in depth with your work colleagues. In the workplace, there are many animals in human form. When you tell someone personal details about yourself, just know that it's safe to assume that more than half of your workplace know about those details you shared. Number 2, never talk about your boss or another colleague to anyone. Even if your boss is the spawn of the devil, Grim Reaper, Judas Iscariot, P. Diddy, don't say things you don't like about your boss or another colleague to somebody in the workplace, because it will surely come back to bite you. Some people, work is their life. I'm talking about they live and breathe that job, okay? These type of work colleagues are the most dangerous. If you go and give them ammo by telling them things you don't like about your boss or another colleague, if they don't like you, they will throw you under the bus and make sure they get rid of you. Number 3, don't engage in gossip. I think this one is self-explanatory. Work colleagues that will sit down and gossip about another work colleague to you, most especially when you've seen the gossiper and the person that they're talking about getting along and having a good time, will do the exact same thing to you when you're not around. In the workplace, the walls have ears. People are crafty. Listen, in your communal area, you will see people pretending as though they're minding their business. They've got AirPods on. They're not listening to music. They're listening to what you're saying. That's how crafty people are. The workplace is cruel. People will have you guilty by association just because you were there in the presence when they were gossiping about somebody. They'll rope you in. I'm not saying you can't make friends in a workplace. You absolutely can. But rarely will you find a true friend in the workplace.
Have y'all ever had co-workers that, like, no matter what you did, they just don't like you? Like, you could literally be the nicest person or the person that stand off and don't talk to nobody, but no matter what you do, they don't like you and they pay attention to every move. That was like my first introduction on what a hater is like. And when I tell you, it really just befuddled my mind how you can really be minding your business and somebody can still be picking apart every single thing you do, trying to dry stitch and get you in trouble. Like, girl, gone.
So about 2 weeks ago, my manager and I are talking, and I was like, oh, it's getting really hard to like pay booth rent because like I just feel like I'm not getting the clients that I thought I was going to be getting, and it's like really hard. And for those that you don't know, I'm an esthetician. And she was like, oh, well, you know what? And I wasn't asking for anything, but she offered that. She was like, oh, I can talk to like the store owner and I can see if we can get your rent down for maybe a short period of time. And I said, oh my gosh, that would be awesome. And then 3 days ago, I make this Facebook post about how I felt like God was calling me to go on this mission trip in the spring and how I didn't know how I was going to afford it. But you know what? God's telling me to do it, so I'm going to go. I'm going to be obedient. And that if everyone could just pray for me, that's the most important thing. And if anyone felt led to like give to help fund me, that would be amazing. But prayer is the ultimate thing that I need. Fast forward to today, I'm at work, I leave work, I realize I left my phone, so I go back to go get my phone, and no one sees me, but I just pick up my phone, I'm gonna head out, and then I hear my manager telling the hairstylist on the other side, yeah, she has made this whole Facebook post about how she's engaged, she's planning the wedding of her dreams, and how she's going on this mission trip, and it's gonna cost all this money, and then she's trying to get a house with her fiance, and she's not asking for less booth rent because she can't afford it. She's asking for it because she's trying to get an effing house. Like, who is she? I'm 45 years old and I've never owned my own effing house. And she just like goes off, and I'm just standing there like in shock. And then finally I will step out so that they can see me, and I look at them and I go, that's interesting. And then I literally just walk outside the doors and I go to my truck, and then I drive away. I've been crying for the last half hour, by the way. That boldness is not from me. Like, I have never done anything to this woman. I'm so nice. I come through the door every day and I'm like, hey. And I just keep to myself. And here, she's like taking everything out of context. Like, I get how it might look to you, but who are you to come at someone else, talk crap about someone else, and come at their life? Like, she was the one that offered to tell, like, the store owner and ask them if they could lessen my rent. I didn't ask for that.
Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Hey, from these people's experience, if you want good for you, do your job, go back home. It won't earn you an extra dollar simping yourself in front of a chair or in front of the manager. It won't. The most important thing you get from other workers is the network. Somebody will say that, I know so and so, they were so good to me while we were working together. They can refer you to places. They can see you as a good person. They can see you as a person who can help. And if you're a person who is, you can't keep your mouth shut, you're always reporting people. You're always making other people's life hard. You are always harassing people in the job because at the end of the day, you are an official. And one day you wake up in the morning and receive an email, or one day you wake up in the morning and see things are not the same. You'll be replaced and life will continue. So just be humble, work with people, because that's the most important thing. The most important thing are two things. First is the pay that you're being given. Second is the network, or is the connection that you create with people. And the connection will depend on how you treated people during that time when you worked with them. If you treated them badly, this means that today you lose your job, nobody will vouch for you. They won't vouch for you. Even if they know a place, they can vouch for you to go and work. Maybe another sub company that they can vouch for you to go and work. They can't. Because while you are an official, or while you did something great, you make other people look dumb because you did something that they didn't do. So you get to realize that it's never the same. So there is a lesson that we need to learn. And a couple of people said something, and people also shared their experiences in the comment section. I want to try share with you what they say, because I believe it's important. Now, somebody said that, oh my God, that lady reporting him to the boss, then leaving him cookies with a smiley face is deadly. Now, this is the most important part. Go to work, collect your check, go home. Simple. Simple. That's all you need to do. I stay all the way to myself. I show up, do a great job, then go home. I eat lunch alone and mind my own business. Sometimes it's always good to be alone because it will delineate you from toxic people from the workspaces. And I understand that. Sometimes some people are just to do that because it's important to you, because you're a person who values your energy. You're a person who values your mental health. Sometimes you need to just move away from people and just mind your business, right? Somebody said, the workplace is full of snakes. This can happen in a mediocre minimum wage job or a high-earning corporate organization. Snakes are everywhere. These jobs are no different than the streets. Act accordingly. That's the truth. Somebody also said that, I've been working for a long time. You can work with people 15 years. They leave and you'll never see them again. Coworkers are not your friends. That's true. That's true. Never ever add your coworkers on social media. Another thing. Never, lol. Find and block them all before they find you. And if you are not a celebrity or a working creative, please make your page private. Somebody's also saying, I think he said something important, because these people may report you that you said something that relates with the job, which might also get you sacked for that. Somebody said that work is for paycheck. I have no friends at work. No one knows anything about me. I don't have lunch with anybody. I share nothing. I only had to learn a lesson one time. It's important. Somebody said that chill. I don't even hang out in the break room. I say good morning and goodbye. Wow. Somebody's also saying that coworkers are not your friends. If it doesn't pertain to work, keep your mouth shut. Be cordial. Speak high. Be fake. Your shoes are nice. Type she. Eat lunch in your car. Guard what you say, no matter what. Oh, and learn to change subjects because they're trying to gauge you. Important. Really, really important. That's true. I'm also learning something. Somebody also said that I used to work with this lady who was just nosy. She would lurk around my office all day, even though she worked in a different department, and always ask me questions about my personal life. Mind you, she was extremely private about her business. She sent me Facebook request and I blocked her. When she came to work the next day, her face was tight and I couldn't care less. It's true. People are sharing their experiences, and you need to know that it's never the same in the workplace. There are some people that we used to work with. I don't even know where they went. And it's true. The workmates are not your friends. Only maybe 1 to 3 that you kept the network with. These are real people that they move from workers to friends and maybe family. Clock in, clock out. Go home. Check your bank account for payday. Be friendly. Stay on guard. Do not do it all again. Coworkers are not your friends, but simply just teammates to make your job more tolerable and easier, because even if you two don't like each other, you two are still doing part of your job, which is true. Somebody saying, I have been screwed over so many times by coworkers and bosses that I made a promise to myself from there on, I will never mix business and pleasure ever again. And I have stuck that boundary ever since. I have made that promise to myself 4 years ago. The same day that happened, I started a new job. I am now at the B at work because I refuse to go to any work events or engage in any small talk with my coworkers. I am kind and cordial, but I don't go extra mile in getting to know anyone at work. Anytime there is a work project, I always request to work alone. It has worked out wonderfully for me because it keeps me out of workplace drama, and it has helped me with my mental health. People do talk about me a lot, but that is the issue, not mine. There is always something to learn. I have my fair share of backstabbing friends at work. People who invite to my home, to my family events. Never again. I'm still traumatized. These are people who are sharing their experiences. These are people who have experienced this. So, if that's them, what about you? My dad told me, go to work, get paid, go home. I will never go to bat for anyone at work or discuss work issues with folks even again. People try to pump you up to make point or bring up issues so that they too afraid to stand up and say themselves. That's why I hate working in the office. Messy office politics snakes. One particular messy ethics snakes brain almost exploded because I changed one way I did something. I did it on purpose to see how fragile the snake's brain was, and it drove the snake so insane it had to slither around and complain to other departments about it. The snake also wanted to complain loud enough for me to hear it. Very insecure and professional. Lol. Smooth brain snake. Okay. That cracked me up. It's coworkers like the ones in these stories that make me suppress my extroverted nature down into an expressive robot creature. Being naturally chatty, friendly, and slightly naive is goldmine for covert narcissists, and it hurts. Hey, these are those people's experiences, and so many other people who have bad experiences with people being backstabbed or people who backstabbed them. I don't know what's your story, but this has happened so often to many people. I hope this video finds you right wherever you are. Until then, peace, love, and harmony. Salute.